Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. 2 words, not sustainable. Or actually, now that I think about it, 1 word, unsustainable. Woke left policy, woke left ideology is crashing and crumbling all around us because it's simply unsustainable. You know, if you think about it, something that can be sustained has to be relatively static. You need peace within the system, you need a structure. It needs to remain consistent so it can keep going. The problem with woke ideology is that it's a snowball rolling down the hill. It continues to pick up steam and get bigger and bigger and bigger. It becomes harder to control and harder to stop. Woke ideology is ever evolving. It continues to become crazier as it goes. I guess the way we generally describe it is you can never be woke enough, and eventually it gets to a point where it becomes so crazy that more and more people end up jumping ship as they realize this is going too far. I can no longer align myself with this absolute sheer lunacy. And that's clearly what's happening here as the woke ship is sinking to the bottom of the sea and people are searching for life rafts or some debris floating in the ocean and they're jumping ship. I got 2 examples to show you guys today. So without further ado, we got some stuff to get into. Let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so firstly we're going right back to San Francisco. I recently did a piece titled Meanwhile in San Francisco, covering a DC Shorts clip that really puts everything into perspective. San Francisco is becoming a hellscape of crime, violence, and just sheer insanity. You guys probably don't need to watch the video that I made on it to really understand what's going on. Most people are exposed to the reality. But everything that we're seeing in places like San Francisco, and especially the total loss of control over the last 2 years, is a direct result of soft on crime Democrat policies. You know, that woke snowball that continues to get woker. And it's getting to a point where even high-level Democrats who were part of this San Francisco woke revolution are starting to say enough is enough. San Francisco Supervisor Ronan begs for more police in her district after voting to defund police in 2020. Take a look at what she had to say.
We've been begging for more footbeats and for more officers in the Mission District. I've been begging this department to give the Mission what it deserves in terms of police presence all year long. And I have been told time and time and time and time again, there are no officers that we can send to Mission. It hurts, and I feel betrayed by the department. I feel betrayed by the mayor. I feel betrayed by the priorities of the city. It is not this Board of Supervisors' priorities. We want our residents safe. We don't want our residents getting shot, getting assaulted, getting killed, because in the Mission, Chief, it's not theft. In the Mission, people are getting shot and killed. In the Mission, people are getting beat up. In the Mission, people are dying.
She's begging to give the Mission what it deserves in terms of police presence. Well, isn't that interesting? I present to you Exhibit A, Ronan, back in 2020, on the 16th of August 2020. I want to make it clear that I believe strongly in defunding the police and reducing the number of officers on our force. For decades, we've had an imbalance in our city's budget, with hundreds of millions of dollars going to SFPD to have them do work that they are not qualified to do. After fighting to create Mental Health SF, which redirects funds to mental health crisis teams instead of police, I believe without a shadow of a doubt that SFPD is not where we should be putting our money. But we have a big fight on our hands to make these cuts happen. The mayor has submitted her proposed budget to the board already, and unfortunately, this level of cuts has not been included. In my role on the Budget and Appropriations Committee, I want you to know that I will be fighting for these 3 things. Significant cuts to SFPD's budget that will meaningfully start off a multi-year process to defund and reimagine policing in San Francisco. Number 2, a reduction in the number of officers and command staff. Number 3, fully funding the departments that are actually doing the work of keeping our streets safe, including full funding to street crisis response through Mental Health SF. You know, that genius leftoid idea of sending frickin' psychiatrists and social workers to tackle crime on the streets. Holy moly. Tell me you're a pseudo-intellectual narcissistic leftist without telling me you're a pseudo-intellectual narcissistic leftist. But honestly, I don't want to poke fun at this Ronan character too much. Of course, the irony's there. It's a fun little quick laugh. But this San Francisco supervisor is hopefully the start of a positive trend. Democrats reversing course, slamming the brakes on this woke crap. Honestly, we're seeing it everywhere. Woke ideology is collapsing, I think, even faster than I was predicting. My general prediction over the last couple of years is that it's going to take maybe 10 years or so for the pendulum to truly swing. I often say the cultural pendulum is swinging, but I'll add the caveat that these things tend to take a really long time to materialize. Cultural and political change doesn't happen overnight or over one election cycle. Generally, it takes a generation and sometimes even longer. But the craziness of the left has reached such levels of insanity that it seems to be happening faster than expected. It's the great backtracking, the great regret of aligning yourself with the neo-Marxist revolutionaries. History has proved one thing, especially over the last 100 years, that left-wing societal change generally comes with severe consequences. Anyways, that's a good chunk of the video dedicated to the first topic. Let's move on to the second topic of woke ideology starting to backfire. This week, the Young Turks TYT's Anna Kasparian is in the news cycle for some supposed controversy. It seems like Anna Kasparian is becoming J.K. Rowling #2. This is the tweet that has leftoids outraged. Anna Kasparian writes, "I am a woman. Please don't ever refer to me as a person with a uterus, a birthing person, or a person who menstruates. How do people not realize how degrading this is? You can support the transgender community without doing this ish." The leftoid reaction was exactly what you might expect. I don't know how people are still watching Cenk and Anna in 2023. Didn't realize TYT was right-wing now. Gives you the general mood of the response from all the activist leftoids on Twitter. By the way, those were the nice and tame ones. It got a whole lot worse than that. But it's yet again another example of mainstream leftists and even progressive Democrats jumping ship. The rewriting of the dictionary, referring to women as birthing people or people with uteruses, is going too far. I mean, I'll tell you personally, if all of a sudden Democrats started calling men people who pee standing up, I'd be pretty freaking frustrated. I'm not a person who pees standing up, I'm a man. Women are having their identities stripped away from them. They're having their representation within the political and cultural sphere ripped away from them. They're losing their bathrooms, their locker rooms. They're losing their sports, for Pete's sakes. No wonder they're getting frustrated. It's woke ideology on crack, and the further the left pushes, the more insane their ideology becomes, and the cult-like enforcement of their ideologies become, the more people take a step back and say, whoa, this is not what I signed up for. We're seeing it with individuals like J.K. Rowling, Anna Kasparian. Even Cenk Uygur seems to be pushing back a little bit. This tweet also caused controversy, although not to the same extent. That Anna Kasparian tweet was viewed 24 million times. Kind of hard to compete with that. Cenk Uygur writes, "If you think that Chris Rock should have been slapped because words are violence, you might not even understand words. Slapping someone is actual violence. So if you're okay with that, how can you say you're not okay with his words because they're violence? That makes no sense." This is a direct contradiction to basically the entire woke left's debate strategy, that basically anything I disagree with is violence against me. Not to mention the Antifa faction, who believes that words that offend them and ideas and individuals that disagree with them should be responded to with actual violence. The Cenk tweet is another example of the same thing. The woke left cult, that's exactly what it is. Rules by force and intimidation. And slowly we're seeing leftist allies trying to wiggle out of the grasp of the woke left. It's not happening harshly all at once, a complete disassociation, but slowly you can see these leftoids trying to get out from under the boot of the leftist mob. They're clearly sick of it. They're sick of the craziness, they're sick of the chaos, the anarchy, the extremism, the censorship. Clearly behind closed doors you can tell that a lot of leftoids are getting sick of it all, and it's only a matter of time before this new age woke revolution implodes. That's what I got for you guys though. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, possibly subscribe to the channel if you guys want to join us. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.